from an agency point of view are trends that we see happening continuously at the moment. So the first one is mobile, and it's really more around making sure that whatever brands do, work in the mobile space. So making sure your own services are mobile optimized, making sure you're using mobile as a core strategy for your business. The second point really is using data and insights to power the creativity. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then the third thing is that a lot of the things and a lot of the programs the marketers are building now are always on. And that's really something that I think both agencies and marketers need to get better at, especially putting resources behind these always on campaigns. So we're clearly moving away from, and have been moving away for a while, from these big media campaigns that are one-offs and more towards more lightweight interactions that are always on. So those are the three key trends that I see happening at the moment. Data and creativity. I really do believe that a lot of the creativity, especially in the digital space, should be powered by a lot of the data. There's a lot of platforms out there now, a lot of platforms that are not even that expensive to implement. So a lot of these platforms should be utilized to come up with relevant insights that power all the creativity. Not just the obvious ones like, optimizing and personalizing experience online, but also using things like social media listening to come up with insights that power any channel. So a lot of brands are using social media listening, for example, to power social media creative. But I don't see any reason why social media listening shouldn't be used to pull insights for prints or TVCs or any kind of channel, really. So it's really about finding the relevant data and insights to learn a little bit more about your customers, to come up with more meaningful insights, and then power a lot of your marketing programs or creative approaches from using those insights and data.
But wouldn't creativity typically be always just about the big idea and less about the digital, the scientific measurement?
Sure, there's both sides of the table. Buying has always been an emotional decision. If buying wasn't emotional, then brands wouldn't have to exist. So yes, of course, there's a part for that big creative idea, of course. But still, most big creative ideas come out of an insight, come out of a smart insight about the target audiences or consumers. I think the better use of data on these different data platforms simply allows us to find better insights or find more relevant insights that may resonate with customers. So basically, the process doesn't have to change overly. But if you're using data and insights to feed the creatives better insights, those big creative ideas can actually be fueled at a more effective level. I think it's finally data. We've been talking about data for a while, but now finally there's marketing organizations are starting to embrace data and find budgets for them. There's a lot more specialists in the data area right now in helping customers from an agency point of view, but also there's a lot better platforms and a lot more relevant platforms out there for utilizing data. So really, data and insights is probably the biggest thing going into next year.
So is big data just hype, or is that how would you define big data?
Well, what does big data really mean, to be honest? I think it's just relevant use of data. It's finding data that matters to your brand, finding the relevant things that your brand needs to know to succeed in any kind of marketing channel, and then making sure that you've got the tools and the people in place to measure those relevant things that matter to your brand.